Hey Chicas! Welcome to Coding for Chicks! Today I'm gonna teach you about how to read and write input from a text file. As you can see, I have created a folder for my project. My folder is called Read and Write Input, and my Python file is right here, and when I create my text file, it's also going to be in the same folder. The reason I do it like this is that it's easier to point to the text file if it's located in the same folder as the Python file itself. The first thing I want to teach you is how to create a text file in your folder. So you start by right-clicking within your folder, going to New, and selecting Text Document in this list here. After that, you can name it whatever you like, and in my case, it's going to be my text file. Now you can open your text file, and it's going to be empty, but don't worry, we're going to put something in there later. Okay, so now I've opened my Python project, and we can start writing to our text file. I have some comments here to guide us through this, and the first thing we need to do is open the file for writing. So I'm going to name a variable f for file, f my file, and then I need to use a function called open. Open, this is a built-in function. And now the name of my file that I just created, my text file .txt. You have to add the txt because that indicates the whole file name and it means text file. Okay, but I'm not done. I also need to tell my open function what kind of reading or writing I'm going to be doing now. And that is going to be writing. So W for writing. And I have now opened my file. It's time to write something to the empty file. So we write the variable name f my file and then the write function since we're going to write to the file. And here we can put anything we want. And I'm going to write I am an awesome programmer. And I'm of course talking about you. Me, myself, I'm not that good. Okay, as you can see here in the comment, I've also written that we should close it after. The reason for that is if we don't close the file we opened, we're going to leave an open resource, and we should not do that while we're working on our program. So we should always close everything we open. So f my file and close. It's as simple as that. We of course need to test this. Okay, nothing happened because we've just written to our file. Let's now take a look at our file. I'm an awesome programmer. Look what we did. We wrote to the file. So back to our code. Now, I don't want to open the file every time I write something to it so I can see what happened. So I would like to open the file for reading in my code. So let's do that. F my file as before, then open. Also just as before. My text file txt and up. Be careful because right here we're not going to use W, we're going to use R for reading. We actually haven't read anything yet. We've only opened the file for reading. But let's read something. So I'm gonna print f my file read line. So here I'm going to be reading a single line from the file. Don't you just love these functions? They're so self-explanatory. Shall we test it? I'm an awesome programmer. See? We can do it. What if we had more than one line in our file? So right here, we're just reading one line. But what if the file had more than one? Let's try to add another line by copying this one. And we're going to change it to extremely awesome programmer. But wait. We can't put it like this because it's just going to add the text together. So before we do that, we need to put a new line symbol up here and it'll all be grand. And now for reading those magical two lines, I'm going to write print f my file as before, and now it's only going to be read. This is so amazing. I love these functions. And we also need to test. Ooh, they're both there. You might be wondering why I didn't repeat this line right here. If we take a look at our code, you can see I have read line right here and then read the whole file right here. Why isn't it repeated? Well, the reason is that I haven't opened and closed the file in between. So my functions first read the first line, and then this one continues and reads the rest. It's important to keep this functionality in mind when you're playing with the reading and writing of files. So for now, I'm going to comment out these 2 lines of ours, just so we can see what the other ones are doing. To comment out means to take a code and change it into a comment so it doesn't affect the other code in the program. This is very useful for debugging or testing something. Okay, so now we're going to be reading a line at a time with a loop. And we're going to close it after. And then we're closing the file we opened all the way up here. So let's see. We're going to do for line nf my file, the colon, and then we're going to just print the line. And run. It works. I was a little bit naughty. I didn't close it before I ran. So let's do f my file close. And now we're done. For our final comment, I want to teach you a way to open files in Python where you don't have to think about closing them. This is actually my favorite way to do this. And we do that by writing with open and then the file name, my text file txt, and I'm going to be reading now. So this is just everything we've seen before. And then I write as f. For lines in f, I'm going to print the lines. Let's go over this a little bit better. So with my file open in read mode as f. So this f is just something I chose. I could write anything I wanted here. Let's say flower. But be careful, we have to change this one to flower as well. Okay, and what are we doing down here? So for each line in flower or in my file, named it flower, I did. I'm going to print the lines. And now I think we should run. Yes. As you can see, I'm first using the first loop to print it out, and then I'm using the second loop that doesn't need closing. Let's take a look at the code to explain it better. Here is my first loop, and it closes, and therefore I can open again and print out the same text. I remember when I first learned about how to read and write to files in Python, oh my god, it was so amazing. Because you can pretty much think of the file as a small database that can contain any information you want. For example, the clothes in your closet, if you want to create a small program that will randomly tell you what to wear tomorrow. There are so many possibilities, and I'm sure you'll find a lot of things to do. I haven't decided yet what to do for my code example, so if you have an awesome idea about what to do with the writing and reading of files, something amazing you would really like to see in code, please leave it in the comment and I will create it for you. That's all I have for you today. If you liked my video, please leave me a like. I love all your awesome comments, so feel free to share with me some ideas you have or something you find interesting. If you would like to know when my next video is out, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for listening. This is Coding for Chicks.